establish their companies. Even they need money, they can borrow from the banks or money lenders as the case may be. But poor people, it is very difficult to get the money. Therefore, microfinance has been strongly recommended as an intervention that could assist poor people by providing small amount of money, because microfinance is an instrument to get the way for establishing small companies. So in this aspect, certain challenges are found by the people, poor people. So this microfinance is an instrument, and they get the finance from microfinance institutions. Microfinance institutions are providing small amounts to the needy people. With that amount, they can start their own small organizations. They can do some business, and thereby their standard of living is increasing day by day. Thereby they can pay school children fee, they can buy certain assets, furnitures, etc. So microfinance is playing a significant role in developing the people. Especially today, if you look at women, they are not getting any jobs, or poor people, we are talking about poor. So this microfinance is a facilitator, thereby they are getting certain funds, thereby it is enhancing their credibility, and thereby it is enhancing their capacity building and as well as participation in leadership roles. However, today this microfinancing posing certain challenges on the people, especially high interest rates, low returns on their investment, and diversion of funds, because they may get the funds for doing some business. Unfortunately, they may invest on some other things, and short grace period because they have to clear their funds, and repayment schedules, and risk of confiscation of their property. Suppose if they are not clear the dues, what the microfinance institutions will do? They will forfeit their property. In this regard, if the government is intervened and regulated interest rates, and also they are given some intervention to control these microfinance institutions, that may be helpful to improve their standard of living. So in this forum will help you to gain more insights about the microfinance. I know very little. Madam worked for microfinance for past 6 years, and she can give better picture about microfinance. Thank you.
Hello everybody. College, several faculty have asked me, is there any festival today for MBA students? I said yes, there is a festival, because one goddess has come to the department, that is Indira. So you all know that money is the most important thing in life. Dhanamoolam idam jagattu. But how you are getting the money? Earlier days, if you look at the culture of India, probably at the time of marriage, a rich person is giving in the name of something called as so at the time of marriage of his daughter, a rich fellow will give something called as some property which can be used but it is under the lock and key of this girl only. But we are talking about something called as a poor person who got married, who has no sort of any sort of freedom of spending the money, even for the education of the children as well. In context lo now microfinance has helped a lot of families, especially poor people, where the husband's cooperation has become doubtful, and lady is interested to see that the children are put in the right path. Alanti condition lo microfinance has definitely helped them. And really, when I interacted with madam for about 15-20 minutes after her arrival here, I was surprised to see or amazed to understand that the response rate from these people who are taking loans is exactly opposite to Vijay Mallela. Vijay Mallela tells her andarki. So he is hitting the list of non-performing assets of all companies, all banks. But these are the people who are paying almost 100% payment is done. This payment. So that means really great thing, and that is helping those families to run a respectable life. So in this transaction, what we thought is, you please listen to her. మీకు ఒక ఫెసిలిటీ ఇస్తున్నాం ఇవాళ, ఎక్స్ట్రా ఫెసిలిటీ ఏంటంటే మేము ఉన్నాం. మీకు అంతకంటే ఫెసిలిటీ నో స్టూడెంట్ విల్ ఆస్క్ ఫర్ ది ఆప్షన్స్. అంత greatest facility we are offering, so that we want to experiment whether you will interact more with the guest in the absence of the routine lady faces. So in that transaction, ఒక ఫ్యాకల్టీ అయితే పక్క రూమ్ లో ఉంటారు, మీరు జంప్ అయిపోకుండా చూడటానికి పాపం ఆవిడకి తెలియదు కదా. సో దట్ ఈస్ టేకెన్ కేర్, బట్ స్టిల్ we are giving you that freedom so that you please interact. I requested her, she said she will make you to interact, so that even in the first minute of our presentation, if you get a doubt, don't sit with that doubt throughout her lecture. Get that doubt clarified in the beginning itself. With that understanding, we are giving the floor to her. Thank you.
So I just want to understand from all of you. Firstly, I would like to thank Ramnagaru to giving me this opportunity to speak to you and make you whatever little I know about microfinance. I would want to interact with you and then tell you whatever little I know. That's fine. And then, okay. So how many of you know microfinance here? Nobody? Please. I'm not a person who would ask to raise your hand. No. I just want to ask you, does anyone know what is microfinance? Some of you at least are from the rural background, right? Yes? At least a couple of you? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Small amounts, what's your name? Satyavati says that it is a small amount given to rural population. Yeah? Okay, do we all agree on that? Okay. So, have you heard about microfinance institutions at least? Really? I mean, in that case, we have a branch. I'm sure. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Let's go ahead. So, microfinance institutions have come into picture to provide microcredit. What is microfinance? Micro means small, finance is money, right? So, it's small amounts given to rural or women usually. Okay, so you can go ahead. So what is microfinance? So it's small loans given to people. Okay, so microfinance, initially started as only credit. So do you all understand credit? Credit is just a loan. Okay, so it started as credit, only credit, but later on it took a different shape. Do you think poor needs only credit? Do we need a bank account to save our money? So we need to save money, right? Okay. How many of you know about small enterprises or nano, micro enterprises? Like you see around your houses? Like, can I get some examples?
Retail shop.
Pardon me?
Retail shop.
Retail shop, yeah. Kirana, even Kirana outlets, small ones, yeah. Anything else? Candle making. You said, what did you say? Candle making. Yeah, good. And anything else?
Tiles.
Textiles. Okay. So how many of you are from rural background? Rural. Village నుంచి ఎవరున్నారు ఇక్కడ ఇక్కడ దగ్గర villages. I am so glad. Okay, మీరు చెప్పండి. I mean, so what are the enterprising activities that you see around your house? Yeah. And agarbattis. Yeah. Okay. So you're all talking about products that are made. I mean, nobody's talking about cattle rearing. Yeah. So do you also see some goat rearing or cattle rearing or even cows and buffaloes? పాల వ్యాపారం చేస్తారు కదా. Okay. So do they need insurance for their animals? If the animal dies, what happens? They lose their income. So do they need insurance facilities? Okay. So we talked about credit. You need credit to set up your enterprise. We talked about savings. Where do you put your money? How? Because see, if you keep it at your house, or we are talking about poor person, so they live in a very not so secure places where it can be stolen by people, or even rain, or even theft, or rats can eat away the money. So they need a place to save the money. So we talked about savings, and then we talked about insurance, right? Okay. And then there is something else. How many of you are from urban background? You are from urban? Yes. Okay. So do you notice lot of labor force moves from rural areas to urban areas as construction labor? Okay. How do they send their money to home? Okay, Khatkesar is close by, they might just come from Hyderabad. But imagine somebody from Bombay and then some family living in Bihar. You think it's easy for a poor person to open a bank account and transfer the money? Like, wire transfer, ho gaya? Is it so easy? No, it is not. So we need 4 services. So credit, savings, insurance and remittance. So that's how initially, though it started as micro credit, now it has broadened their services to include the remaining 3. Okay. So these are the 4 services mainly offered by microfinance institutions across the world. Okay. So you can also go through. So when I talk about to address the vicious cycle of low income, low saving and low investment. So what is the vicious cycle there? So can somebody tell me what is a vicious cycle? Vishavalaya. Okay. So what happens to a poor? We will move ahead and then we will see. Okay. Now, see, we all need money. Probably for your education, maybe, if you are fortunate enough to have parents who can afford, it's good. Otherwise, you have to take loan, right? But there are very, very, almost, so I'll introduce you to the concept of bottom of pyramid also. You can go ahead, please. That is bottom of the pyramid. Now, when we call about bottom of the pyramid, is anyone here who knows about bottom of the pyramid? Did anyone hear about a word called base of the pyramid or bottom of the pyramid? Pardon me? No? Okay, it's fine. Ever since I started working in microfinance institutions, I knew. Before that, even I didn't know. So it's fair enough. So what is the base of the pyramid? Okay. If you see that, can you read that? If you can change the color, I don't mind because, okay, I can point out. So if you see rich, I will build and then poor, ultra poor and destitutes, right? So if you see the bottom of the pyramid is, the destitutes, ultra poor and poor form part of bottom of the pyramid. That's called bottom of the pyramid. So these microfinance institutions actually cater to this sector. Poor and ultra poor. Why not destitute? Why not? Can anyone tell me destitutes? Why microfinance institutions do not want to cater to destitutes? Yeah, they cannot repay. So destitutes are something the government has to take care of. Okay. So when we talk about microfinance, it is given to people who are economically active. Okay. So what do you mean by economically active? They are able to do, yeah, can somebody, I mean I am only talking, I just need volunteers. So economically active, yeah. Yeah.
They have the ability to pay the money.
Yeah.
They
They,
have the
yeah, they are economically active. I mean, they have cash inflow and outflow, and they do have some cash in, cash out. They are able to earn. They are able to generate income. So they are economically active poor. So when we talk about microfinance, it is for economically active poor. Okay. So now, if you see that for this base of the pyramid, this concept, I mean, this word was coined by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Okay. So then, across the globe, so there are 3 billion people who live less than $2.5 a day. You know, when I started knowing about microfinance, it was $1 a day. We used to call poor. A poor person is somebody who earns less than $1 a day. So now the definitions keep changing. You know, World Bank revises the definition. Today we can say the target of microfinance is less than somebody who is earning less than $2.5 a day. So how much is $2.5?
130 average.
No, what is the rupee dollar conversion? Okay, fine. So that's it. Okay, 2.5 into 60. Yeah. Okay, we can move on. So how did microfinance evolve? Okay. Do you all know about a concept called chit? Chit fund wala parents antaru untaru kada? Chitti vestaru kada? So chit funds, everybody knows about chit funds. Okay. So it's nothing new to us. Microfinance has the roots chit fund. You know, most of the microfinance have started from Andhra Pradesh. Now we have Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, but let me call it Andhra Pradesh. Earlier Andhra Pradesh. So most of these have started from Andhra Pradesh. Do you know why? Andhra Pradesh and South, let me say, call South. It's because of our culture of chit funds. So we have this chit fund culture, right? So because of this chit fund culture, it was easy for us to access microfinance institutions. It was very easy and understandable. You know, you go to US and then when you buy vegetables or something, let's say it costs you 12 rupees and you give them 20 note. What does the person say? One more. Come on, Inga. Good. Tell me.
2 rupees change.
Yeah, 2 rupees is the 10x standard. Do you know, in most of the places, people don't understand. In Europe or US, it's such a developed countries we call. They don't like that concept. You know, this is our culture. Chit funds are our culture. So because of this culture, microfinance was easy for people hailing from Andhra Pradesh to understand the culture, the credit discipline. Okay. So of course we know. Do you know about credit cooperative societies? Savings and credit cooperative societies? You must have heard about it, right? Credit unions, yeah. So you know, it was always there. Microfinance was always there in the various forms and shapes. Savings and credit cooperatives, or these chit funds or anything. It was always there, but formally the introduction happened. I'm sorry. So in 1976, Grameen Bank was started in Bangladesh by Mohammed Yunus, however you want to pronounce. Okay, so what he realized is, he noticed people around his house, they were making bamboo baskets. When they make bamboo baskets, they never had money to buy the raw material for bamboo basket. They were depending on the trader. So the trader would come, he would dump some raw material on them, ask them to make, and there is a buyback guarantee. So he will come and buy. But since he is supplying the raw material, he would charge, he would give them very little money. He was always exploiting them, he or she, let me be not be gendered by us here. So they were always being exploited by these people. So he noticed that. He wanted to help these poor women to get rid of poverty. So he started this Grameen Bank and started giving loans as low as $20. So how much is $20? $1,200. Okay. So he started giving loans, and then he noticed that these women were amazing. They were always paying on time. They were always paying on time, and he noticed the credit discipline. That is called credit discipline. So they were always loaded, paying on time, and he noticed that he can take it forward. He can increase the scale. And initially, he tried to tie up with a bank. No bank was willing to give loans to these poor women. Because why? Tell me why. Even proud, please.
They doesn't have their money.
Not necessarily. Now, how do you assess? They were making bamboo baskets and they were selling. So, considering that,
Security.
yes, yeah, collateral. So, they didn't have collateral or guarantee, whatever you call mortgage. So, they don't have it. So, the banks were refusing to give them loans. Now, this man was very innovative. What he did? Okay, fine. Don't give them loans if they don't have any collateral. But let's devise a formula. Let's devise something wherein, he formed groups of 5 women. It's called Grameen model. So these 5 women were grouped, and then each one stood as a guarantee for the other. Okay, let's say a bank is giving a loan of 1,000 rupees per group member. There are 5 members, so 5,000 rupees. Each one gets 1,000 rupees. And when it comes to repayment, each one stands as a guarantee to the other. So it's called, with this group guarantee, these are called solidarity groups. Yeah, okay. So now it was easy for these women to get money. So when they actually form a group, they see that, they are vouching for each other. I know you live next door to me, and I know you are a good lady, so I will include you in the group. If I know that you are not so good, I will not even include you in the group. So it kept on happening, and that's how microfinance emerged. So it's, a group is formed, money is given, they pay back the money, and of course they save the money in the same institute, and they actually provide insurance services, and of course remittances. All this. So that's how it has come into picture. So these chips in India we call ikirbitis. It's called ikirbit in Ethiopia, IQIB. In various forms and shapes, it was always there. The different culture was there in Africa, India, Asia, Southeast Asia and Central Asia, everywhere. So that's how it started. So Grameen was somewhat popular name, but even before Grameen there were some organizations which were doing microfinance. Not typically, they are not called microfinance, but they were doing the activity. We can move to the next slide. So now, as I was telling you, microfinance includes 4 services, not just credit. So there is a myth that microfinance is microcredit. No, there are more services to it than microcredit. And also, in 1990s, if you see, most of these microfinance institutions in India especially were all NGOs. Do you know what is an NGO? So most of these are NGOs. That means they are either registered as not-for-profit entities. They are not for-profit entities. They are not-for-profit entities. So can somebody name one not-for-profit entity? Registration status, legal status. How do you register an NGO? How do you register an NGO here in India? One legal status at least I want to know. Society. Okay. There is something called Societies Act in India. If an organization is registered under Societies Act, it can be called an NGO. Okay, they are not for profit entities. And there is some other legal status, trust. That is also a not for profit entity. Now tell me some of the for-profit entities. You are all MBA students. You all work for only for-profit entities. Huh? They are companies incorporated under which section? Okay. in especially rural context, where financial instability happens. Give me certain instances where a poor becomes even more poor or destitute. What is the most significant thing in a rural poor family's family which will affect the finances adversely? Interest when they take loan. If they don't take loan, yeah, good. I mean, that's a, yeah, something happens. There are no rains, something happens to their crop. Yes. Yeah, and floods could be there is one drought is, yeah, droughts and floods. Yeah, and then anything that affects a family, a poor family. Can I tell something? Death of father. Okay, death of father is very, very crucial in a rural context. You know, father is, assuming father is the earning member of the family or livelihood provider, breadwinner of the family. So isn't it very, very crucial? So his life needs to be insured. So do we need micro insurance facilities in rural context? You need insurance for human beings as well as cattle, right? So most of these microfinance institutions right now in India provide these services. They are tied up with some of the insurance companies, Tata, AIG, any company as a matter of fact, and then they provide these micro insurance facilities also. Okay, let's go ahead. Who are the customers of a microfinance institution? Mostly women, right? Have you ever, I mean, of course, when I asked you all about, what is a microfinance institution, none of you could actually identify even a single microfinance institution. The Dwakra is a good example. It's a government one actually. It's not a MFI, but it's government. Yeah, good one. And then, okay. So, did you notice that there will be women groups and there is a person who comes and collects money from them? Did any one of you see that thing happening around your house? Yeah, I'm glad you also. Okay? So see, just notice. And when does this happen? At what time usually the officer comes, loan officer comes for collecting the payments from these women? At what time? Usually? Huh? Evening? Huh? You know what? No, Monday to Saturday were schedules in there. You're right, yeah. Morning, yeah. See, it happens either in the morning or in the evening. Okay, why? Somebody should tell me why. Yeah, they will do some productive work. They could be actually laborers in some field, agri field. They could run their own businesses. So all these activities, especially the lending, loan recovery and the lending process happens early in the morning. Poduna 6 to 10 or not even 10. I noticed 6 to 9 or in the evening. Okay, so this is what happens. And most of the customers are rural poor or women. Why women, why not men? And we do have 50%, no, not even 50% girls here. I mean, I roughly see 30%. Yeah. Yeah, why? Why women? No, why not men? Men also need money, right? It's the same amount. Huh? Okay, it is noticed worldwide that women are more responsible than men. No bias on that, but that's what they say. So I was talking about vicious cycle. This is a vicious cycle. Then you know what happens? So you don't have money, you don't have education, and somebody gets sick in the house. You borrow money. Where do you borrow money? When you have no access to bank, when you have no access to microfinance institutions, you end up money lender. Yeah. So and how much the money lender charges you? 24%. Okay, you said 24, right? What do you all say? 3 to 5 color? Okay. 3 to 5. Okay. You said 2 rupees, buddy. Are you sure it is 2 rupees? Huh? also. But let me tell you, there is something called flat rate. So most of these microfinance institutions have devised a formula called flat rate. When you told me 24%, and when you said it is from the money lender, it's not 24 actually. It works out to 48. They actually, they devise this formula, which is actually not at all scientific. Let's say you borrow 1,000 rupees. They say, I'm only charging you 24. And then, so at the end of the year, how much you should pay? It's 1,000 to 40, right? They divide 1,000 to 40, divide it by 12, or depending 52 weeks or 12 months, and then they calculate. But what you're missing is, first month onwards, or first week onwards, the person is repaying the interest as well as the principal, right? So it has to come down. So this is something, there is something called microfinance practitioners. They try to, microfinance transparency. So when you talk about microfinance transparency, they say that when you tell your client that you are charging 24% interest, actually cheating them. It's 48. Okay. So this is better. You said 3 to 5, it's good. 3 rupees vadi every month, fine. But this 24, when they say, is very, very good. So I want to reassure 24 to everybody. It's 48. Okay. So this is 48. I forgot the 48, exact 48 card. You put it in Excel and then you will get the result actually. It's roughly double. Got it? Yeah, that's what I was saying. 4 rupees and 4 plus 48. Roughly allowed. So, you have to be aware of that. Now, who actually educates the clients of these microfinance institutions? So there is a big hue and cry on microfinance institutions charging a lot of interest, number one, and exploitative measures that they take in order to collect repayments. Now who is regulating it and who is helping them out? So there are various institutions that do that. They are called industry associations. You have industry associations for every industry. Similarly, in India for microfinance also, we have industry associations. There are two mainly. One is Sadhan. Okay, then let's talk about the vicious cycle. When they borrow money, they have to repay money. They are always into that vicious cycle of borrow and repay and borrow and repay without generating any income. Okay, so that's a vicious cycle. Okay. Now, how do we break the cycle of poverty now? So these microfinance institutions, when they provide credit, the credit helps the person get self-employment. It's not visible, right? I'm sorry, I should have made it bigger. And the self-employment generates some cash flow, and with that, they have some savings. So that's how they try to break out of the poverty, clutches of poverty. Okay? What is the process of lending? So this is from one of the microfinance institutions I have consulted for. So not necessarily everyone need not follow that, but one of the microfinance institutions that I work with, and that's also Gramin. Now what is the process? So the process of lending is like this. Usually it is group lending. So I was talking about groups. So it's usually group lending or individual lending. And 90% is group lending in most of the microfinance institutions. But again, those loans are individual loans. Please be mindful. So let's say SHG. Have anyone heard about SHG? Yeah, these are self-help groups. Can somebody tell me what is SHG? Yeah, you've given me the definition, self-help group. Yeah. Please. Okay, fine, they do. I mean, of course. Literally, yes, you're right. You're right. So self-help groups, yeah. Someone else, please. I mean, if it's boring, we will talk about something else, no problem. Okay. Okay. మీరందరూ ఇంగ్లీష్ సినిమా చూస్తారా? ఎడ్జ్ ఆఫ్ టుమారో ఎంతమంది చూసారు? ఎడ్జ్ ఆఫ్ టుమారో. టామ్ క్రూజ్. No? Not even girls? Tom Cruise is so popular among girls. I have a daughter who is 13. And when I tell her Tom Cruise is my generation, she says, so what? Okay. So in that movie, I'll tell you the theme. What happens is, this man, it's like a science fiction as you all know. So this man is not a combatant. He gives lectures like me, not a practitioner. I haven't run a microfinance institution so far, and I consulted 10. Okay, so he also speaks a lot, but he is not a combatant, first line, soldier. But then everybody notices and they send him to fight an alien army. And what happens is he dies within 10 minutes. But since this is a science fiction movie, what happens is the day gets reset. And next day again the war happens. He goes and fights. This time he survives for 20 minutes. Okay. And then of course he dies. So at the end of the story is finally he gets the alien, and then he gets the Earth to win. It's Earth versus aliens, kada? So what, when you actually relive your moments of fear, what happens? When you relive your moments of fear again and again, one day you will actually stop fearing it, right? Okay. So I just told you to wake you all up from your slumbers, and let's move ahead with microfinance. Okay. Now, so the process of microfinance, we were talking about self-help groups as well as JLG, joint liability groups. So self-help groups, what happens in self-help groups is most of these are formed by, no, not individuals, these are groups formed and nurtured by NGOs. So these are nurtured by NGOs. These NGOs help them form, they give them training on how to prepare accounts, and they also sometimes give training on some of the economic activities. So you've been telling me about a lot of economic activities, candle making, agarbatti making, plates, disposable glasses, plates. So these are the activities that are taught to them. These groups are nurtured, and they are also taught how to do bookkeeping. And they also have a discipline, like every month on certain day they have to meet and discuss what has been happening, and they have to save. The most important thing about this is they have to save money and put it in a bank. Initially there was really a big hue and cry, and why should I open an account for them? But since it's a group, and these NGOs which were nurturing them took them to banks and said, no, we are nurturing them and training them. They want to save with your bank. Now finally banks agreed to actually open bank accounts for these SHGs, and they observe their savings discipline. So today most of these SHGs can avail loans from formal banking sector after saving continuously for 6 months period. And there is a ratio. We'll save chestaro daniki into 10 or into 5 or edo formula undi for each bank has its own agenda. Now that's how these SHGs could avail some credit from banks. Isn't it amazing that those poor people individually, they can't do anything, but when they are collectively doing something, people recognize them. So there is a lot of strength in being collective, isn't it? Okay. Strength in unity, can we say? Okay. Now that's what. Now go back. We didn't talk about JLG. Now what is JLG? We didn't talk about JLG, joint liability groups. Yeah, when I said solidarity groups or group guarantee, these are joint liability groups. Though microfinance with Grameen Bank started as 5 member groups, now actually joint liability groups can be as long as you follow the principles. Now it can go up to 8, 10 also. They started as 5 member groups, so there is ASA model, they have various models. So let's not go deep into it. So that's joint liability groups, and most of the MFIs in India follow JLG and not SHG. Okay, these SHGs are essentially formed by NGOs, and they are directly linked to commercial banks, mainstream banks. Okay, and there is individual lending, which is quite less, 10% I would say. Okay, now go back. So how do they give loans? So microfinance institution is like this. A microfinance institution, there is a CEO or MD or somebody, and you have operations managers. So the managers will have some regions, and each region and then each branch, and each branch has some loan officers. These loan officers actually go and then talk to people and then lend them or borrow or whatever activities they want to do. Money activities is done by the loan officer. The loan officer goes to an area and then they conduct meetings. The way I am talking to you now, then they go conduct meetings and then they identify some few people who need money, and they form them into groups. They train them on, if I give you a loan of 1,000, what is your repayment? They are trained, well trained. And after that, a small test is given. It's not written, it's oral. And then after that, they get the loan, and then there is a loan utilization check. How is the loan being utilized? There is something called fungibility. Maybe you want to know. Fungibility is, I asked you money to buy a cow, but money is always fungible. I can use it for anything. I can buy a TV, I can buy a washing machine, I can actually go to a movie or drink in a bar. Okay? So this is fungibility. Therefore, it is very important for the loan officer to go and do a utilization check. And after that, okay, collect the money regularly from the groups. You go in the morning, as I said, in the morning 9 o'clock, between 6 and 9, and then collect the money and then come back. Okay, that's about it. So we did talk about next. What are the shapes and forms we have discussed? There is something called society under Societies Act. They have trust. మీకు ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్లో ఉన్నాయి అనుకుంటా కదా ఎంబీఏ సెకండ్ ఇయర్ మీరందరూ ఫస్ట్ అండ్ సెకండ్ ఉన్నారా మీకు ఈ లీగల్ ఫార్మ్స్ ఉన్నాయి అసలు మీకు ఉంటే ఉండాలి లీగల్ ఫార్మ్స్ అంటే సొసైటీ ట్రస్ట్ కోఆపరేటివ్ అండ్ దెన్ కంపెనీ లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీ అన్లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీ సెక్షన్ 20 కంపెనీ రైట్ యా కాబట్టి దీస్ ఆర్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద లీగల్ statuses under which microfinance institutions run. Society, trust, cooperative and NBFC. You all know non-banking financial corporation, right? Gold loans తీసుకున్నారా ఎవరైనా ముత్తు గోల్డ్ ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కదా గోల్డ్ కూడా పెట్టుకుని వాళ్ళు డబ్బులు ఇస్తూ ఉంటారు ఓకే సో దీస్ ఆర్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద థింగ్స్ we can know. So what is the difference between bank and microfinance institution then? మీరు చెప్పండి చూడకుండా. Can somebody tell me the difference between a bank and a microfinance institution now? We have discussed a little bit about microfinance so far. Yeah. Yeah. Pardon me? Legal formalities. Yeah. Yeah, they are different. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Interest is different. Yeah. Loan size is also very different. Usually banks give a higher loan, right? వాళ్ళు 5,000 లోన్స్ ఇస్తారా ఎప్పుడైనా వాడు ఇవ్వరు యూజువల్లీ ఏంటంటే పెద్ద లోన్స్ ఇస్తారు మైక్రో ఫైనాన్స్ లో యాజ్ లో యాజ్ $10 అక్కడ ఉంది కదా ₹500 లోన్ కూడా ఇస్తారు నో చెప్పాను కదా గ్రూప్ గ్యారెంటీ మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నారు కదా 5 ఒకరికొకరే గ్యారెంటీ కొలెక్టర్ తీసుకోరు దట్స్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్ అబౌట్ మైక్రో ఫైనాన్స్. But not men groups, unfortunately. You can form a group of women. Group form so usually that is what happens. Husbands take the money. Okay. Chala cities lo తీసుకెళ్తారు 6 o'clock అవగానే వచ్చేసారు సో యాక్చువల్లీ ఏంటంటే అక్కడ డబ్బులు అవన్నీ ఇట్లా తీసేసుకుంటారు మరాఠీ సిచ్యుయేషన్స్ కూడా ఉంటాయి అందుకనే మైక్రో ఫైనాన్స్ మీద ఓకే హౌ మెనీ ఆఫ్ యూ నో అబౌట్ మైక్రో ఫైనాన్స్ క్రైసిస్ ఆర్ ఇన్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ఎవరైనా చదివారు న్యూస్ పేపర్లో మైక్రో ఫైనాన్స్ క్రైసిస్ గురించి 2010లో గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ అప్పుడు గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ కదా సో 2010లో ఒక ఆర్డినెన్స్ రిలీజ్ చేశారు గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఏపీ they had so many restrictions for microfinance banks that they actually asked all the borrowers not to repay to these microfinance institutions and most of the companies had to write off their assets. Okay, so almost 15,000 crore rupees loans were written off by these microfinance institutions. Lot of money. And after that, there was a hue and cry on no, there has to be one regulator and not two regulators. So RBI has emerged as the regulator for NBFCs. We talked about NBFCs. Yeah, RBI. Now RBI regulates them. So who regulates these NGOs then? Societies and trusts. Who regulates them? So informally, NABARD regulates them. NABARD ante telsa? Yeah. Correct? Yeah. So it's so sort of informal. RBI regulates NBFCs, whereas NGOs are regulated by NABARD. But pricing, you are talking about 24%, right? So now why pricing is really high in microfinance institution? How much banks, what is the average lending rate of a commercial bank in India? Can anyone tell me? Rate, lending rate. So, huh? ఎంత 9 నా చిన్నప్పుడు నట్టుంది 12% దేనికి హౌసింగ్ లోనా హౌసింగ్ లోన్ వద్దు హౌసింగ్ లోన్ is subsidized by the government of India. Okay, personal loan is 15%, right? Okay, so roughly the loan, interest rates range between 14 and 16. Okay, commercial banks low, especially March 2013 naatiki, it was between 14 and 16. Now, why these microfinance institutions are charging so high, 26% or 27%? Why? Because, see, we are talking about poor. If I go to a bank, I can get a loan, as we said, 15%. For 15%. But a poor person goes to these microfinance institutions and they're charging 26%. Why? So that was a big hue and cry of Andhra Pradesh government then, saying you talk about poor, you say you are serving the poor, and then you are charging so exorbitant rates of interest. Now, someone tell me why. Documentation cost. No. No. Processing is in fact higher in commercial banks. Documentation and processing are higher. No, they don't have collateral, right? They are group guarantee. No collateral. Okay, can you think of something else? Huh? Cheppandi. Louder. Louder. ప్రాపర్టీ నా అసలు కొల్లెటరీ లేదంటుంటే అంటే మార్ట్గేజ్ లేదు ఐ డోంట్ నో కొల్లెటరల్ అనాలో మార్ట్గేజ్ అనాలో నాకు తెలీదు ఇండియాలో ఏమంటారో ఏదో ఒకటి ఓకే ఓకే ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ ద రియల్ రీజన్ ఈస్ when these microfinance institutions borrow, they borrow from commercial banks. They borrow from commercial banks at 15, as you said, and then they can only serve at 26. The real reason being their operations costs are very, very high. Did you ever see a bank employee coming to a woman's house and then taking the repayment? The lady goes and then, or it's a gentleman or a lady, they go to the bank and repay the loan, right? Or it is a direct bank transfer. మన salary నుంచి direct credit పెట్టొచ్చు కదా, right? So that's how it happens. But for these poor ladies who get loans from microfinance institutions, the loan officer has to take his bike early in the morning, full tank నింపేసేసి he has to come door by door వచ్చి కలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలా మనీ. Does it cost money? It costs a lot of money, petrol, right? Petrol and depreciation of the bikes కూడా కంపెనీస్ కొంటాయి. Microfinance institutions వాళ్ళే బైక్ కొంటారు mostly. So now isn't it expensive? That's the reason microfinance institutions charge higher rates of interest than commercial banks. And what is the interest of these commercial banks giving loans to these MFIs? Why are these banks so happy to give so many crores of money to these MFIs, microfinance institutions? Why? Pardon me? Repayment guarantee. Okay, but technically speaking there is no collateral. ఇప్పుడు ఏపీ క్రైసిస్ అయిన టైం కదా, అప్పుడు బ్యాంకులు కూడా మునిగిపోయింది, బ్యాంకులు కూడా రైట్ ఆఫ్ చేశారు. ఆ బ్యాంకులే ఈ మైక్రోఫైనాన్స్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్లకు డబ్బులు ఇచ్చారు కదా, వీళ్ళు రైట్ ఆఫ్ చేస్తే వాళ్ళు రైట్ ఆఫ్ చేయాల్సి వచ్చింది. దట్స్ ఎ గుడ్ ఆన్సర్, బట్ నాట్ నెసెసరీలీ, యూ కెన్ థింక్ మోర్. ఓకే, have you ever heard of something called priority sector lending? Right? Priority sector lending లో ఏమేమి వస్తాయి? Agri, rural and poor, lot of things, right? So banks have a mandate to give 40% of their lending on priority sector lending. మరి priority sector lending అంటే వాళ్ళని ఊళ్ళో చేయాలంటే వాళ్ళకి చేత కాదు, వాళ్ళకి they are in AC offices. Who will do it? Microfinance institutions. So they give that money to microfinance institutions as loan, and then they qualify the norms of priority sector lending. That's why banks give loans to microfinance institutions and microfinance institutions give loans to these rural people. That's what it happens. Now pricing, as we said, it's mainly because their operational costs are very, very high. Okay, let's go. There is a company called Spandana, which is the lowest. Spandana, you know, sir? Yeah. Right. So Spandana operations costs are very low. At one point of time, I don't know, I mean, I did that research 2-3 years ago. I don't know today's rate, but they are very efficient. Pricing. So this is how. Okay, we can skip. Okay. Now technology. Microfinance, when they started, they didn't have computers. As I said, you know, they didn't have computers, they didn't have anything. They were starting, you know, just paper, paper, now today, technology is there. You have a lot of softwares. They do have, so bank software, bank project chesara? Right, yeah. Fino chepparu, nee Fino anara? Okay, yeah. Finakil anu undi kada? Finakil ilantivanni. So microfinance vaadu kuda entante they have specific softwares for them. That's one. They have computers and they are all connected, but connectivity issues untai because ఊళ్ళలో internet ఉండదు, so there are issues. But more or less, mobile money గురించి మాట్లాడదాం. There is something called POS. POS full form ఎవరైనా చెప్తారా? Point of sale devices, right? Point of sale devices ఎలా ఉంటాయి? Somewhat like that. అక్కడ ఉంది కదా? Something like that. Mobile money. మీలో ఎంతమందికి ఎయిర్టెల్ మొబైల్ మనీ గురించి తెలుసు? ఎయిర్టెల్ మనీ ఉందా? స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ ఉందా మీ దగ్గర? Do you need a smartphone to do Airtel money? No, right? So all of you are using. I'm so glad to hear that. Actually, Airtel money is very recent in India, but still we all know. So Airtel money ko manamu transactions chesestam kada, bills pay chestam, money chestam. In spite of not having a smartphone, right? We can do it. So similarly, even for microfinance, it's the same technology. Airtel money undi kada, it's the exactly same technology. The platform is same. So most of these microfinance are opting for mobile solutions. Endukante village lo internet connectivity undu, but mobile connection undu. India if you go anywhere, connectivity is very good. So mobile connectivity untundi kabatti, it's a new way to disperse money and collect the money through mobile monies. Mobile. How? మరి టాప్ చేయిస్తుంటారు కదా బయట, మీరు ఫోన్ టాప్ అంటే ఎయిర్టెల్ మనీ వాడని వాళ్ళ గురించి చెప్తున్నాను. టాప్స్ మనం ఏం చేస్తామో చిన్న కిరాణా కొట్టులోకి వెళ్ళి చేయిస్తామా? దోస్ ఆర్ ఏజెంట్స్, రైట్? సో దీస్ ఏజెంట్స్ help us, so they have credit, okay, and then they help us take money. So they already deposit something in the bank. Let's say they have a money of 10,000 rupees per day, so a person comes to the kirana shop and then asks, okay, I have to withdraw money, and then this mobile device is used. There is a PIN number and everything given to the person already. You click it and then you get the money. Have you noticed somewhere? But anyway, it's the same technology as Airtel money. Airtel money, anyway, most of you know, you don't need a smartphone to do that, right? Yeah. Okay. And then there is BC model. What is BC? Business correspondent. Yeah? You all know that, right? Okay, great. So business correspondent model is where bank cannot reach. Bank is situated in the town, and if you have to do operations in the village, so there is something called BC operations. There is an agent and an agent network and then similar to that. Let's go ahead. So what is mobile banking? We all know mobile banking now. So let's go ahead. So there is this, it's actually, I had cut and paste this from somewhere. I'll just explain. So there is a this is a different model. And let's say, so most of the mobile operators, this is a Kenya model. In Kenya, these mobile operators can actually act as a bank also. In India, permit raledu. Ankane India lo Airtel money is not, acting as a bank. We are only able to do utility payments. We do utility payments and other payments. What are the current payments? Pardon me? Yeah. Okay. So in the Kenya model, so where actually they act like a bank. There is a credit by this is an agent. Let's say agent A, agent B. These agents have this predefined credit. Either in terms of overdraft or they deposit money. So once they have the money, they are ready to go now. Now somebody comes and takes the loan, he can give. He clicks and then he gets the money and then he gives the person and then there is a message saying, you know, transaction successful. Similar to Airtel. So that's how they are able to do. It's a very, very big proven model. Probably in India also we are trying. So there is a company called Subke. It's one of the group companies of Basics which is doing this in India. Because they have permit, they have obtained all permissions. Unlike Airtel Money still doesn't have, you know, they cannot actually operate like that. Cool. So these are the services that can be provided. Anyway, most of you said you know what, I'm so happy that most of you know these services. If I actually go and talk about these services in a really posh urban Hyderabad area, most of them do not know. Because they only know smartphones. Only in smartphones they think they can do all these payments. But I'm so glad that almost 80% of you said you are aware of these features. It's amazing. You can go ahead, they know this. Okay. This again M-Pesa model. Let's go. So in India, so what is the outreach now? Isn't it amazing? 39.6 million and almost more than 3 crores, right? 3.5 crores. Isn't it amazing that microfinance institutions have a clientele of more than 3.5 crores? Right? And a loan portfolio, I had to put USD there because you know we do research in a web portal called Mix Market that gives only numbers in USD and in multiply you can multiply. You all know 61. Right? Okay. So you know so many depositors. Depositors actually India. Okay, I have to tell you one more thing. Most of these NBFCs do not have a permit to take deposits from the people. Okay. When we talk about saving, credit, insurance and remittances, we talk about 4 services. Saving is really not done in India. Savings. Because Indian government, RBI, which is the regulator, has regulated that. Until and unless you have RBI's permission, you cannot take deposits, and which is a very tedious process. So most of the NBFCs in India cannot take deposits. That's why your deposits are very less and deposits are very less. Okay, let's move on. Now performance of Indian MFIs. And now you can identify some of the names. Somebody said they know Spandana. So did anyone know about Bandhan? Bandhan Limited? Okay. Bandhan speciality over to me. Of course you don't know Bandhan, so I have to tell you about Bandhan. So Bandhan is an MFI. If you see their loan book is good, their portfolio is almost a billion, okay, and they have 3 and 5 crores, right? No, 54 lakhs. Sorry, 54 lakhs, right? Clients. And another important thing about Bandhan is they got banking license last year. They can now operate like a bank. So RBI has actually invited applications from most of the successful microfinance institutions to apply for banking license. So Bandhan applied and they got it. So now Bandhan is a bank. Okay, you can actually identify some of the names: SKS, Spandana, even Indira, everyone. Okay. Yeah, it's fine because see, Hyderabad, we are chapter, Andhra, Telangana region. SKS, Spandana, and okay, we can go ahead. Don't worry about that. It's you have to know overall that's a portfolio and that's it. Okay, we can skip. So this is the outreach of SHGs we were talking about, self-help groups. Initially, self-help groups performance, the outreach of self-help groups was much higher because commercial banks were lending to them. But now they are almost closed. We have closed the gap. Now microfinance institutions have more number of borrowers than SHGs. SHG group numbers. So now okay, everybody knows, all of you have given the definition and then after you all know this. So now let's talk about NABARD. What does NABARD do? So I was talking about the loans, but who is going to train them about other things? So enabling environment. Let's talk about some enabling environment. Credit is not sufficient, right? Credit gives them money, but then how about entrepreneurship training? So your ma'am is sitting there, the entrepreneurship madam. Okay, she gives training on entrepreneurship. So let's understand. So most of these trainings are given by NABARD and other NGOs. NABARD finances it. NABARD might do it directly or indirectly, but they do it. They provide an enabling environment for this to happen. Okay. They also provide support and everything. Okay. AP crisis. We did talk about AP crisis. So in AP, what happened was there were some suicides attached to microfinance institutions. Some people committed suicide. Why? Because they were unable to repay to these microfinance institutions, and these microfinance institutions have stringent norms of recollection. And this happened because money was abundantly just thrown on their faces. Like they were borrowing from 5, 6, 10 at a point of time. If they borrow from 10 microfinance institutions, what happens? They are not doing any productive activity. Can they do a productive activity? Who will go to get down the daily capital? But they were borrowing 10 times that. Why? They were actually using it for consuming purposes. Consumption loan. We call them consumption loan. There are typically two terms: consumption loan and income generating. When you use the money for income generating loan, it's fine because you generate income. When you are using it for buying a TV doesn't get you any money. So that's how what happened was some of these people were committing suicides. That's when the government of Andhra Pradesh has alarmed everyone, and then that's the crisis part. They said don't pay to these microfinance institutions, they are bad. And people started stopped paying altogether. That's how microfinance institutions suffered a lot in 2010 and 2011 and almost 12 also. So now they are actually going ahead again. The graph is upward now. Okay, let's go. Now in order to regulate, after this AP crisis happened, and even before, like RBI was regulating. So we did discuss about it. They cap the interest. How do they regulate? What do you mean by regulation?
Taking care.
They are regulating in the sense, interest rate cap or how much is the amount that you should give. Interest rates, they talk about, we were talking about this. So, you said 15% is the commercial borrowing rate, right? So they said you add 10% to it. So to make it 25. 15 plus 10, 25. You make it 25 and then that's the ceiling. That's how they are regulating. So they are regulating the amount of money that a microfinance institution can lend, and how many microfinance institution can actually lend to one person. So it's two actually. A person cannot borrow from more than 2 microfinance institutions. So that's how these are the operations. Now we did talk about private sector lending. Move ahead. So when I was talking about industry association, these are the Sadhan and MFIN. Sadhan, mostly everybody is a member of Sadhan. And only NBFCs can become the member of MFIN. These are self-regulatory mechanisms. RBI is external regulation. They regulate the entire sector. But this is self-regulation. Sadhan and MFIN. Okay. So they bring transparency. So now we've been talking about microfinance and the challenges and everything. So what are the barriers to financial access? So what are the barriers? KYC norms. When we talk about know your customer norms, it's difficult for rural people or especially the migrants to have KYC norms, and therefore they are not eligible to get loan from anywhere. No commercial bank is ready to give without knowing where you are from and where is your place, where do you live. Okay, these are migrants. That's one. And of course, branches. Do you think ATMs are available everywhere in India? Not necessarily.
In some places.
Pardon me? Villages are not 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers, sometimes even more than. So that's another drawback where microfinance institutions are helping them. And of course, documentation and everything, that's a problem, and interest and these things could be a problem. Go ahead. Now, what are the challenges for microfinance institutions? Microfinance institutions, as I was telling you, during 90s, most of them were societies. They were all registered as society. Is it easy for a society to get equity capital? Why? Yeah, dividends giver. Because it is a not-for-profit institution, they cannot distribute dividends. So nobody is willing to invest in NGO. Now all these NGOs started, okay fine, we will convert ourselves into for-profit institutions, which is NBFC. That's how most of the Spandana, SKS, they all became for-profit entities. And that's how, somebody was talking about that, yeah, that's how. So attracting private capital is very he's talking about environmental impact. You know, we have a section happening somewhere. Yes, yeah. Civils value. You know, another guest lecture is happening where the person is actually talking about environmental impact. So he was telling me that I'm here to talk about environmental impact, and I told him, sir, we always talk about triple bottom line. When we talk about triple bottom line, what is triple bottom line? What is double bottom line? What is single bottom line? You will have to tell me, you are MBA students. What is the bottom line? Okay, bingo. Okay, what is bottom line? Okay, company ki bottom line ante enti? That's funny. Bottom line ante profit. Balance sheet, when P&L account balance sheet తీసుకుంటే, when do you see bottom line ante enti? Profit. Profit is towards the end, right? So that's called bottom line, not the line at the bottom. Okay. So bottom line is profit. So earlier, you know, the mandate of any for-profit institution was bottom line, profit. We had a single bottom line that, you know, we have to make good profits by running this business. Then started emerging this concept of double bottom line. Now what is the double? What is the second bottom line now? Louder, please. Profit already matters. Profit is the bottom line. Okay. Then we started. We are talking about double bottom line. What is the second one? Social impact. Are you getting? I mean, are you making a social difference? Are you making a difference? Social impact. Let's say somebody is getting only to women or, you know, vulnerable communities. You call it double bottom line because you are actually addressing some social cause. Okay, when you address a social cause, it is called double bottom line. Okay. Now today we talk about triple bottom line. What is triple bottom line? I already hinted you. I told you already. Environment. I told you already. So we have a guest lecture happening in some other room here. We talk about social impact. Sorry, environmental impact. So when we are giving loans to these people, are they using it for purposes which might cause environmental pollution or something? Okay, causing a disturbance in the environment. So this is third bottom line. We also see that if somebody wants to make cigarettes, should we give? Should we not give? If we have a triple bottom line agenda, then we will not. No, we will not. Okay, it can come under social as well as environmental. If somebody is, you know, effluent treatment and chemical industries lo untundi kada. So what happens? Can they actually just dump it outside and then can it pass through the normal canals? No, they have to treat it, right? So something similar. So that is environmental. So we talk about triple bottom line nowadays. So, you know, profit, social impact and environmental impact. So that's triple bottom line. Now, which are the major microfinance funds? What is a microfinance fund? So these funds actually lend money to microfinance institutions. They give money so that they can offer on lending purposes. So these are big names. I just put down a few. I mean, not necessarily you don't need it. I just thought maybe you should know. UNCDF అందరికీ తెలుసు ఉంటుందా? UN actually తెలుసు కదా? United Nations వరకు తెలుసు కదా? Okay. UN తర్వాత CDF గురించి మాట్లాడదాం. Capital Development Fund. United Nations Capital Development Fund. So this fund actually helps for, you know, microfinance institutions, capacity building. So these are the organizations which are giving funds for microfinance. Trials and yeah. So that's it. So thanks to you all for listening to me patiently. Okay, I know it's sort of, you know, it's out of the way. You know, you never expected somebody talking about what is microfinance. Okay, but hope you are not completely disappointed with my presentation. Okay, but you know, it depends on the subject. You know, if I have to teach here about trigonometry, probably it would be interesting to some of you. No? This is better than trigonometry? Okay, I am so glad. Okay. Huh? Andy? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay, thanks to everyone. Now you can ask me some questions. You didn't ask me about me actually. Okay. Okay. Anyway, she gave me a good intro about me. I am Indira. I am a microfinance consultant. And I work with two of the biggest microfinance consulting firms in India. One is IntelliCap, one is Basis Consulting. And now I am a freelancer. I am doing consulting in the same space. And I worked in about 3 to 4 countries apart from India. Okay, so that's about me. So I worked in Bhutan and Nepal and Ethiopia and Mozambique on certain assignments. So I did notice that Indian borrowers are different from Ethiopian borrowers. They are even more different compared to Bhutan. And formation of groups, nobody has asked me a question. When we form a group, it has to be densely populated, right? ఐదుగురు మనుషులు మనకి కలవాలి అంటే ఇంటి పక్కన ఉంటే సరిపోతుంది. బట్ అదర్వైజ్ లెట్స్ సే ఒక ఇల్లు ఇక్కడ ఒక ఇల్లు ఇంకొకడ 1 కిలోమీటర్ లో ఉంటే ఈజ్ ఇట్ ఈజీ టు ఫార్మ్ గ్రూప్? ఇట్స్ డిఫికల్ట్. సో దోస్ ఆర్ ద డిఫికల్టీస్ ఐ హావ్ నోటీస్డ్ ఇన్ భూటాన్. భూటాన్ హ్యాస్ ఎ వెరీ రఫ్ టెరెన్, అంత హిల్లీగా ఉంది. అండ్ దెన్ హౌసెస్ ఆర్ సిచుయేటెడ్ వెరీ ఫార్ అవే ఫ్రమ్ ఈచ్ అదర్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ టు గివ్ గ్రూప్ loans together. We end up giving individual loans. So group loans are easier when there is density of population. Bangladesh is very densely populated, like India. Huh? Surety. Individual loans ki surety ఉంటుంది usually. Yeah. Individual loans ki surety ఉంటుంది. Which is necessary, You can ask me any more questions. If you have any questions, you can ask. Very rarely, see, in only thing the capital, you find groups. Otherwise, it is. Okay. Fine. Any more?
Ma'am, which is better than bank is better, microfinance is better?
No, it depends. See, for you, let's say you are earning, and if you qualify for all KYC rounds, if you have no money, then why not bank? Bank is always cheaper, right?
But some persons deposit only in banks, but not depositing in microfinance.
They are not even allowed in India. They are not even allowed to take deposits in India.
People not below the microfinance.
Yeah, they don't deposit. They don't have to deposit. They can't take. RBI has a regulation that these microfinance institutions cannot take deposits from poor people. You cannot play around with the money of poor. No, we cannot take deposits. It's only lending that they do. You cannot trust, you are right. Even I don't trust. If I have to deposit money, I'll go to a commercial bank which is nationalized. And if I have to take loan, I don't mind taking from anyone.
Tell me some benefits of microfinance.
That's for poor people. Okay. Somebody who cannot obtain loan because of certain drawbacks. What are the drawbacks? Very poor, so no collateral. Okay. When you have no collateral, no bank will give you money. That's why you have to form a group, solidarity group guarantee, and then go approach a microfinance bank, you get money. That's the most important benefit. And they come to your doorstep and give you loan. You don't have to go to the bank. Going to the bank is expensive for a poor person. They come to your house and then collect the repayment. You don't have to go to the bank and repay. All these 10 installments or 12 installments or whatever, 52 installments. They come to your doorstep and take money. They come to your doorstep and give you money. Oh, Dwakra is government group. They are very less. Because Dwakra is not operating all over. They have their limitations. Limitations to geography and money. That's why. Otherwise, Dwakra is Pavla. Right? Pavla. Yeah? Maximum loan 50. Okay. Anything else? Okay then.
కొంతమందికి అన్ని కలిసి వస్తాయని చెప్పి ఒక సామెత ఉంది. అంటే కలిసి వచ్చే కాలానికి నడిచి వచ్చే పిల్లాడుకుంటారు. సో there are two students who stood first and second in their academics, and that prizes were given during anniversary. I was waiting for an appropriate time to give that prize to those students. And anniversary is a very big function. Akkada booklo akkada. So in this transaction we thought that we will request madam to give the academic prizes for the first academician and second academician of the last year. And ఇప్పుడు సెకండ్ ఇయర్లోకి వచ్చి ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్లో టాపర్ ఎవరు గుర్తుంది వాళ్ళకి? సో వాళ్ళని రమ్మని అడుగుతున్నాను. సో నౌ ప్లీజ్ గివ్ us she is not here. Second purposefully we have given today to achieve two purposes. One is to motivate all of you to write your fourth semester exams better, so that there is a first prize for the entire MBA. So if you become the first ranker of MBA, your name will go into that big chart of VBIT. M. Lakshmi name is there. Your name on the card? Bhargavi, yes sir?
Vijay. Your sister was second ranker. So like that your name will go. So all of you should strive hard for that and compete with Nadia and Sanjay if they are in that competitive position now. And we are talking about last year performance, and that opportunity is there for all of you first year. So you should get the first prize. You should become the first ranker and second ranker. So now we request Ashwati to continue.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Sai Krishna sir to give a memento for Mrs. Indira as a token of prayer. Now I call upon Meenakshi to give Good afternoon to one and all. It's my privilege to thank our madam, Mrs. Indira Mallela, for your interesting speech about the microfinance. And I would also thank our principal for his support, and I also thank our HOD for giving this beautiful event for us. And I would also thank our faculty for supporting us and conducting this event successfully. And finally, I would also thank our students for their participation.
You should give a special thanks to Hare Krishna sir, because of whom the guest has come.
Thank you, sir.